let's turn to transfers, and one of the big talking points when it comes to Man City and transfers is how the club are going to replace Kevin De Bruyne, who of course has confirmed that he'll be leaving when his contract runs out at the end of the season. And one of the names who has been linked with City more than anyone else really is Bayer Leverkusen star Florian Wirtz.
Yeah.
But last weekend it was revealed by the club's managing director Fernando Caro that there is a very high possibility that the 21-year-old will remain at Leverkusen before the current beyond the current season. As quoted by Sky Germany, it was said that Wirtz has a contract referring to his deal which runs until 2027. He said financially there's no pain threshold and added that it's also possible that the clubs that want to come in for Wirtz, he might not actually want to join them.
Yeah.
So, and also it's on top of that, it's been sort of rumored that Leverkusen could actually offer him a new deal to keep him at the club for at least another year. So there's a lot of uncertainty. It seems suggestions are coming out now that it seems more likely that he's going to stay maybe than leave. So from City's point of view, how big of a blow is that a player deemed sort of a primary target by City might now not be available in the summer when they plan to do this big, much needed squad rebuild?
Well, I mean, firstly, anyone's available with the right price. They are. I'm a little bit yeah, a bit hesitant about how much Verts is interested in Manchester City too. But at the same time, I'm not stupid. I know agents talk, and they City won't go bidding a lot of money unless they've had the sort of thumbs up from Verts' camp at the same time. It could do because it could be leverage, and it could be like, oh yeah, we could consider it. And even if you're fifth on the list, that's still possible, it doesn't mean you don't want them. There is rumours that Verts, would fancy maybe buying Munich first or staying in Germany for a season or two. I read those rumours as well. Um, though it feels to me like when you see all this coming out from Bayer Leverkusen, not that they're scared, but they seem a little bit, they're trying to get control of their superstar a little bit because they really want to tie him down with the contract. I think they're a little bit worried that it could go. I don't know. It seems like it's very much up in the air. There's a lot of rumors coming around, but I think this noise could be very easily solved, if they wanted to. But I think the fact that it's still there and there's all these rumors flying about suggests to me that I don't think Wirtz knows yet. I don't think Leverkusen know if he'll sign a new contract yet. Yeah, it'd be a massive blow. It's only a blow though if he ever said yes and then we couldn't get him. But with Kevin De Bruyne leaving, there is going to be a massive creative hole in the centre of Manchester City's football midfield. So I do feel City have to sign a player of the caliber, of De Bruyne when he first arrived. And Florian Wirtz, look, they're very different footballers while both being creative geniuses. But I do think City should be going for someone of that caliber because ultimately, I'm a firm believer in statements and statements of intent. I think it does make a difference. I think there's a fear factor of a signing of a superstar like Wirtz. I also think he's just a special footballer, and you do have to pay a premium for special footballers. And I think City, if you want to show that you mean business, you replace. It's Kevin De Bruyne. It's not like you're losing just a really good player. You're losing an all-time great, one the greatest to ever do it. The only way to replace him really is go out and try and buy someone you think it could be special too, not someone who's really got good potential. I don't really think you can do the bargain basement shopping with Kevin De Bruyne replacement. I think it has to be a serious signing, and Florian Wirtz fits that. But I am not optimistic about that signing. I don't know. Something feels a bit off. You start to read the room a little bit as a fan, and I've been here a billion times, and I remember the Kevin De Bruyne pursuit. I remember the Haaland pursuit, and I remember all these other ones. And it always felt like the only thing stood between City and the target usually was was the club and the transfer fee. This reminds me more of Jude Bellingham, where I feel like City had where Bellingham was like, well, yeah, maybe if no one else wants me, I'd probably move there. But it felt like Bellingham wanted Liverpool first or Real Madrid first, and I've got a feeling it's very similar here for Florian Wirtz, and I wouldn't be surprised if his future's tied to the future of Xabi Alonso too. Because obviously there'll be strong rumours linking him to Real Madrid one day, maybe follows him there, or maybe Xabi Alonso wants to go Man City one day, and he's going to follow him there in a couple of years. I don't know, but yeah, I think it'd be a big blow because I think he's the player of the caliber that City need, and there's not many that are as good as Florian Wirtz at what he does.
And another name City have been linked with is Nottingham Forest Morgan Gibbs-White, who's a standout performer for Forest. He's played a key role in Nuno Espirito Santo's team. He's worn the captain's armband on a number of occasions. But do you think he's a player that can take his game to the next level at a bigger club? Is he someone that City could turn to if they don't go for Wirtz?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a De Bruyne replacement. I think to me, Morgan Gibbs-White seems more like an eight as opposed to a creative genius. And he's had a cracking season for Forest. I don't think it'll happen. I think they're going to demand circa £100 million because we're in that market now where, especially given the fact that the Champions League challenges, they might get Champions League football. He's their captain, he's their superstar player. They don't need, they don't need to sell him as such. And we're in a post Declan Rice, Caicedo, even Jack Grealish era, where these fees have been spent and they'll go 100 million. Just bring it, and City will go in at 70 and they'll go, no, that they'll want 100 million and he's got 2 years left on his contract, which is not forever, but it's a longer enough to, stand your ground and they'll still get 70 million from 60 million the summer after if he's doing well. So I don't think they'll be scared of 2 years left on his deal. I think Morgan Gibbs White is a really good player. But to me, he's the guy who plays alongside Rodri and behind Wirtz or someone like that. I think that's a more balanced midfield. The creative genius and the tempo of Rodri, sitting back and controlling the game with the bustling, incredible power, while also good technical ability and eye for goal and the running of Morgan Gibbs White behind a Florian Wirtz. That sounds greedy, but I think that's more his best role. I don't think you give the keys of creativity to Morgan Gibbs White of Manchester City simply because we haven't seen if he's good enough at doing that. Like, and I don't mean it's no slight at his quality, but there is no examples. He plays for a side that is so set on the counter. It's all about transition for them. Whereas Manchester City, if you're Kevin De Bruyne, or you're David Silva or whoever, or Phil Foden, your job has been breaking down 11 men every single week, and that is truly hard to do, and it's not something you can just do in an instant, And ask Jack Grealish how hard it is. You think it'd be easier, but it isn't. And Morgan Gibbs White does not play in that style. So there is, for me, there are unanswered questions there. And I think if you're going to pay that the amount of money that the club would demand, then you have to have all the answers. And to me, it'd be a very expensive gamble going for a guy who would cost a lot of money, who we don't know could be a genius creator in a side that is heavily possession based, that everyone defends against, because we just don't know the answers to that. If it was half the price, 50 million, might be worth a punt, but it isn't going to be that.
Yeah, I think I'd be very surprised if any clubs, whether it's City or anyone else, would actually stump up, £100 million
Yeah,
for Gibbs White. As good as he is, he's playing really well. He's an England international too, but
yeah.
yeah, to see any club bidding that amount is tough.